Oh, Darcy's here, Belinda.
Well, you know, some mornings.
Site traffic is skyrocketing.
Oh, sorry.
Until
Some mornings things just don't work the way that you intend them to. Like, you know, hooking into the wrong stream and stuff. So, have to get that fixed. Hello, everyone. Now that I'm hooked into the right stream. That's good stuff, right?
I'm trying to skip ads.
God. Oh, there we go. All right, sound's on. We're connected. This is P over here.
M over there.
Patricia.
Mariah.
And together
We are PM Artist Studio.
Hello, hello, everyone. Do say hello in the chat so we can say hello back. Otherwise, we do not know that you are here. We want to know that you're here. But you can hang out in the background. No worries. Do give those thumbsy upsies. It's very important here in the beginning, especially. Even if you're watching on replay and all of that. If you know us, love us, then give us the thumbsy upsies. If you don't know yet, just hang out. Subscribe to the channel when you're ready and, you know, all that. It's free. We do have some paid Artie Perk things, but that's on the other, you know, that's on our website. Or you can do the little Artie Perks over here too. But, you know, that information is down below in the description box if you want to know more about all that. Or there will be links and such put into the chat throughout the stream. Alrighty, let's say hello to everyone. Live chat. That's where we want to be, participants. All right, we've got Angela. Ann Lar is here. Heather, Becky. Oh, some Arc Crazy Dragon. All right, I'm gonna, because I don't know why I don't keep remembering that one. And that's terrible. And
Well, it's just because Arc Crazy Dragon is a really
Leanne.
cool.
It is.
Yes, Leanne.
Leanne.
AKA.
Sorry, I'm telling you. It was a struggle this morning.
CPW.
I was doing good, but then things just, you know, quickly went south. All right, we've got, okay, hey, Heather, or other Heather, or, oh, Miriam popped in there. All right, Becky, Belinda, Carol, Naya is here, Carrie Griffiths, Darcy, Debbie, Eddie, Elizabeth, Estella, Evie, Griffinshell, that's Rhonda, Jeanette, a.k.a. Jaynette, Carrie, oh, Katura, is that how you say it? Welcome. Hello. Lisa, Lydia, Martha, Mitzi. Martha, I hope your husband's doing all right. I know you said he had to go back into the hospital. I'm sorry for that. Mitzi's here. Monica, Paula, Penka, Robin, SAG, that's Sarah, Tam Marie, we call her Tam. The Shelly Studio, that's Margot, Trish Coogan. I know some other people popped in there. I think maybe Lydia, Laura, Elizabeth, perhaps. If I missed you, it definitely was not on purpose. It's just, you know, the little participant thing. It does its thing, and sometimes I know, and sometimes I don't. Alrighty, so announcements are, let's see. You should already have your swap partners. That's going to be due at the end of the month if you're doing the gel plate swap. If you're interested in anything that I am talking about at this moment in time, that's over in the Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artists Facebook group. That link will be down below or in the chat various times. Do come join us. It's many of these lovely folks that you see here in the chat or in comments and such are members over in Makers, and you get to see the awesome things that they make and participate in the awesome things that we do over there, which are color combos. We have the collage prompt. That one is headed up by Eddie this month. We have the swap, like I said, but that one's closed right now, so you need to, you know, watch out for that at the beginning of each month. And then we have the Makers Creative Collab. I see you. Ya see. No, let's see. See me. SEA, like, you know, in the sea.
Waves.
Waves. Ya see. I have almost finished mine. I'm doing the last minute little thingy right here. And then we're going to do the video after we do the stream today. Woohoo! That goes live at 2 p.m. Central this Saturday. All the YouTubers, you get to watch their thing. And then if they've made a process video, usually they post that afterwards. Usually by, later in the day or, usually the day after at the earliest.
Oh, Mitzi joined us.
Devin.
Danielle.
Daniela. Hello.
Daniela.
All right. And I was watching Eddie's thing. I'm going to blame Eddie on why I was messed up because I was like totally into that. And then I got kind of like, ooh, shoot, I missed the thing and then I didn't hit the thing. Eddie, it's your fault.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm here to blame others today.
And Miriam already has a problem.
What's the problem?
There's Charmaine. Did you say Charmaine?
That's better. Hello, Charmaine. Woohoo.
And Carla.
Oh, and Xandra's here. Yeah, see me. Yeah, see. Not with a question mark.
Eddie said it's okay to blame him.
Okay, good.
Gonna be
He's really into his stuff. He's stamping.
Redheaded stepchild for a while.
I know. Okay, so what are we doing today?
Well, I'm going to show some new stencils that I'm actually quite excited about.
She's always excited about them.
I'm always excited about them, but
sometimes you don't know what to do with them.
This is a new batch. Yeah, sometimes I don't. Nothing comes to me right away, and I don't force it.
Why is this? Okay, that's the color. There we go. And you were too yellowy.
Oh. Well, we can't have that. Let
No.
me get rid of my mouse. I don't need to be brayering off on my mouse.
All right,
Oh,
I'm going to
not
go top side. You ready to show everything off there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on top
Okay, we're going to do some oldies and goodies and some newbies at the same time.
side. Oldies, newbies, goodies.
And I'm going to go through these quickly because I want to get to what we started the last time.
Sort of, because some things have
Sort
been
of.
pulled. Which
Some
I've been
things.
posting those reels, so
Yeah.
people are excited about them.
Yeah, and I don't know, did we... well, I'll get to that. All right. So this is a stencil that I'm going to use today. One of them.
This is Bricks by Rhonda.
Okay, so here's what's cool about this. And I never noticed this, but as I laid this one down on top of this other one, I thought, look at this.
Brick wall. It's kind of trippy.
And you put this one on top. So this is a perfect stencil for overlapping and layering on. Okay? And you don't really even need two of them. You just need to scoot it over a little bit when you put it down. It'll do the same effect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm going to use both of them just to show you that, how that works. There's also a little one that comes in this set. All right. I'm going to use that one today. I'm going to put that one over here. Keep it handy. All right. Well, I love this, of course. You never have too many leaves.
Yeah.
And I like the small size of this. I don't know if that was intentional, but
Well, okay.
it might actually at some point make it to the bigger size.
Yeah, these are Miriam's, and I just wasn't sure because she kind of gave them to me in about this size. They were more square, but I wanted to fit them much like Carrie's Lazy Layers thing, because I thought, well, this kind of works in a similar way. I mean, they're very different designs, but I thought it would be cool to put them 4 up on a sheet. I did, so the kind of crazy, more angular and, perspective looking one, I just went in further, so then it fattened the lines, and so then you get a play from that. And then because those other 2 that Miriam sent me, I was like, okay, well, this one really does look like it's been zoomed in. So it's kind of a play on that.
This is what's really cool. Okay, so you overlap them, but you use different colors.
And I called this one Line Play.
And it really is. And then you can come back in with the other one and put in on top of that one with a different color, slightly move it over.
Hey, Anthony.
I mean, you've got a lot of possibilities here. We'll play with that at some point. Now, I don't know about these 2. Oh, this is a good one too. How do you tell? Well, you look at the places that are open. That's what's going to stay there. What's open will stay. So this would be a really good one to use on top of each other. Nice layering there, Miriam. I know that you thought of that. Now, she said she had questions.
Who has questions?
Look for Miriam's questions.
Oh, goodness. Here
There's
you're
Michelle.
Like friend
Sonia.
telling me. Somebody asked a question above. Great.
No,
Let me find that.
Yeah, she didn't ask a question. She just said she was going to.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to look for it.
Okay.
It's already there somewhere. Okay, I'm going to play with those, but just not today because we got a lot on the plate here. I got to go through these fast. And I apologize because they're all wonderful. I want to give them equal amounts of time.
Now, similar to the last one you just showed, Miriam had sent me them in this kind of size or square kind of thing. And some different variations. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try to repeat what she did, but do it in that 4-up setup so they could be stacked and kind of played with. Now, this one I called Zipper Play because they look like zipper, you know, the little zipper things.
I don't know that those necessarily work overlapping. Now that might be kind of interesting because you see you've got the holes.
Miriam did. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm getting good feed from here, but YouTube just in general lately has been a little funky. Methinks.
Okay, I don't know that these are necessarily good companions for overlapping, but they are interesting. I would probably use these a lot. Like just to tape off one and use it. Well, this would be a good one to tape off.
Yeah, and I thought it might be fun. These would be really great for butters and texture because it's like a small cool end piece.
Yeah, and what would be cool is to use this as a very light background.
Hey, Kim.
Superimpose this over with a dark background, so you still got that kind of, you know, you still have the same little shape. Yeah. Fun stuff.
And hello, Tracy. I don't know if I said hello to you earlier.
Stuff.
Hey, Monkey. Holy cow, it's been a while. Hey, Christy's here. Christy Meyer-Meese.
Oh, hello, Christy.
How's the OKC?
All right, now I may pull this out because I really like the idea of using the circles and the squares.
And just when we're like,
or
you know, do we need more circle bubble things? Usually our question is, all right, is it like any of the other ones? And this answer was no. And also this one is by Rhonda, but it goes really, really well with Happy Stream.
Oh,
I think it would be very cool to layer those up. So I don't know if you want to make that happen today or not.
I don't know where that is. I'll have to find it. It's in this
Over
pile
here.
of 4-inch.
It might be water.
4-inch pile.
Oh, it is? It's in the stack?
Yeah, it's in the stack.
Okay.
It never made it.
We're going to go through the stack, hopefully. Maybe.
Okay, now see, this is what's
Next
kind of cool. All right, we may do this. I'm going to leave these out.
Bricks and Bubbles.
Bricks and Bubbles.
And actually, I don't know what it
Bricks and Bubbles.
Rhonda usually names hers. So, Dottie Miss Dottie. That's what that one's. Dottie Miss Dottie. She goes with Happy Stream. Seems like Dottie would be.
Yeah, but I think it looks really cool with this also. All right.
Bricks and Dots.
We got some stuff to do here. All right. First of all, we need to get something on the plates because I have used up all of my small plates.
Mm-hmm.
They're all in a process here. And lots to talk about. Okay. Did y'all watch Patty Tyler Parrish's?
I think some people were there. I know Devin was there yesterday.
Yeah, well, while she was doing watercolor, I was doing some watercolors too, but I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm going to talk about that on Tuesday.
We had some weird juju going on yesterday. I finally pulled it out, though.
Yeah, she did. Okay, I want to talk about this first of all, simply because I know, and it looks like a...
Looks kind of poopy there.
Yeah, it does. I'll get it up into the...
Show it into the light there,
Technology.
Carol Ann.
And I'll turn it over and you can see what it really looks like. Okay, so what happened here? Well, I've used this on the plate before and I don't know what happened here. But I think I've always used it as a first layer and just never really thought about it. But number one, this stuff dries incredibly quickly. So if you're using this as a second or third, and I think this is the third layer, maybe even the fourth layer, it's kind of hard to remember. You know, Thursday was a long time ago.
So long ago.
Anywho, this dries quickly, so if you get it on there, and you want to use it as a pull layer, you need to get it down toot sweet.
Y'all understand that?
Yeah, no lollygagging.
No lollygagging.
You know, defuzzing your belly button or whatever.
Contemplating your navel.
Yeah, that too. Okay, it's a lovely color, but look what happened. I don't know if you can see this. This adhered to where the paint was. But where the paint wasn't, I was brayering it. All of a sudden I started lifting it off, which lets you know immediately it's dry. Leave it alone. Or you're going to be pulling off more paint. But I just went with it and I thought, this is kind of cool. So I've got this really lovely kind of goldy layer down there. I don't really know what that is.
Is that the ochre? Ochre?
Yeah. And I think I'm going to pull it with a...
Hey, Colleen.
A buff.
Rhonda says, hey, speaking of layering, not so easy for her. It can be tricky.
It just, the same thing that worked once, you do that the next time, and it's like,
that's a lot what was happening yesterday.
That's
things were not being repeated.
Oh my gosh, did you see that? It slopped out all over me.
Nor was
my bracelet.
Oh goodness, it's a real paint situation. Nor was she listening to me on like what technique to use.
I'll tell you what, sometimes she's a difficult co-conspirator.
A co-conspirator.
I mean, there's... Mm-hmm. Everybody has their idea.
Collaborator.
Yeah, that. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I wanted to... I guess maybe that happened for a reason. I don't know whether to wipe that or leave it alone.
Sometimes it's best just to let it dry and then pick it off.
Because...
Don't spread it in.
Yeah, don't rub it in and spread it out. Okay, we're going to go with that.
It's kind of like when the dog poops on the carpet.
Yeah, really. Just let it dry up and pick it up when it's dry. Put a bucket over it. Laundry basket. Y'all, the advice that you get here, the little special household tips are all free.
It's just funny. Oh, goodness. Yeah, stop. Collaborate. Listen, Ice is back with a brand new invention. Something. Hold me.
All right, this is nice. My Lucas Krill mixtures are all kind of gummy, is why I'm not using those right now. If you don't get after those right away, they kind of have a tendency to
do that. Mm-hmm.
Get a little.
Jada, she liked that. She got a chuckle out of that.
What?
I think the household tips.
Oh, yeah.
I watch some of those people doing the cleaning things, which I find very inspiring.
Oh my God, of course you do.
And I find it all very inspiring, but I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work around here. Love that other people are doing that.
Great idea for somebody's else, but it isn't going to work here. All right, I'm going to put that away because I'm probably going to use that.
My collaborators around here aren't collaborating.
Now look at this. Isn't that, it looks like an old manuscript page or something.
It does.
Okay, this needs to dry overnight. Unless you live in the desert of Arizona and have hot winds blowing.
Yes.
With a, brush fire in the background.
Oh my God, speaking of fires, it's just that stuff that's happening on Maui. Oh, just horrible.
That's just heartbreaking.
People
are losing, they lost everything. They lost their house, their business.
Well, and then
all in one fell swoop.
That whole town, that historical town.
Lahana.
Yeah, wiped out.
Mm-hmm.
I can't watch the news about it. It just makes me cry.
Yeah, I did too, and I'm
like, okay.
Watched this one man, and he was handling it. All right, now I used a lot of, and the layers that you're seeing here are
Anthony. I gotta tell you something.
1, 2, 3. There's 4 layers already on here.
All right, Anthony said he only cleans with when company comes. When we start to clean, Izzy asks, "Who's coming over?" God. She ain't wrong. Sometimes she is, because I was like, we don't only clean when people come
Laura
over.
says things get naturally wet in Wales. Yeah, I don't know that. Paula says I'm an OCD cleaner. Oh my God, if we put you and Mariah together,
Well, I'm
that'd
not
be
OCD,
a
but it's
frightening
like,
thing.
I will say, kind of once I get started,
Oh.
Yeah, it's a thing. I can ignore it for a while.
The dogs get nervous too. Yeah, our stupid Matthew does not like the vacuum cleaner.
No.
Bullet just goes and gets on Van's bed and hangs out. Okay, you can see the texture on this. Getting back to, we need to move along here.
Sorry.
Grumpy Gnome Granny will be here shortly. Okay, I'm guessing that's the Grumpy Gnome. Yeah, okay. Good to know. All right, so many layers on here, but they're transparent layers, so it's really hard to see that. But each layer has its own little mystery.
It collaborates.
And you can see this is the color shift. Can you see the color shifting? I was going to see. Always have to wait here for it to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
About
It's not just the light. I'm seeing the lights, you know. Okay. All right. We're going to use the same mixture, and I'm going to try not to get it on me. No, maybe I'll use something else. Maybe I'll go with... Let's just do something really weird and wild, okay? Let's use some of this. Oh, yeah.
Is that the one?
Well, I don't know. But we're going to go with it. I'm going to aim it away from me so it doesn't puke on my shirt.
Yeah.
Snapped a lid closed the other day, and I wasn't aiming it towards Mariah's side. I usually try to do that.
Yeah.
And it got on my glasses, my chin. I mean, it was just a
real situation.
real situation.
I'm kind of multitasking here. I'm trying to finish up this little thing that I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Well, you know,
Yes.
your main job is to read the chat. Okay. Goodly amount down. Remember, that is important. Because when you're pulling multiple layers, you don't want a little skinny layer down there. You want a big old fat one. So it can suck up that other paint. Really get down into the crevices that you've created, you know, adding these different layers. Especially if you're using a stencil. Oh, look at that.
Oh, good call.
That's going to be so cool. Alright, I want to talk about that right now. I don't know. I might save that for Tuesday. It's one of my experiments.
Experiments she's doing. Yeah, Karma took over the paint, exactly.
Okay, again, many layers. There was mucky muck on there, but then I added, you know, I think some, oh, and I should tell you, I've got a whole new bevy of cleanouts. Look at this.
This is her new, I got rid of her paints on the cart, and now this is taking over.
There we go. Look at that. And I'm really liking this one. This one here. We might be able to use some of that today. But anyway.
Here, pretty funny.
I have those within grasp here. So, that's not what you don't want to use thin for a pull layer.
No.
No, 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 no.
Thin ain't gonna get it done.
That ain't going to get it done. All right.
You will be sad.
The last one we used, and I don't want to lose the cool little,
Yeah.
trying to get this at an angle where I don't want to lose the little bumps, so I want to stay away from the reds. All right, let's do this. I haven't used this minty green in a long time. Getting a little low on this, Mariah.
I think what Carrie does, he puts all of his into one.
What?
Like his
Oh,
paints.
well, yeah, I was doing that too, but
Then you're like,
what
oh.
fun is that?
Yeah. She needed to expand the set.
Well,
Variety.
I mean, you know, you got an empty bottle.
Yeah. Give a mouse a cookie.
Lucas is cooperating today. just think this is going to be a nice contrast. Number one, it's a matte flat opaque. I really do love this color.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, so Becky says, oh, can you explain what's in the clean out paint? Yeah, so she just mixes ones together that like are just a little bit in a bottle.
Yeah, and sometimes I put them all together. All right, now all that did is bump up and make that yellow kind of limey green, but not terribly limey green. But you're still seeing all those nice little bumpy marks left from the, and I'm pretty sure it was this one. The clean outs. The watery paint?
Clean outs of the watery paint.
Okay, this is fun. Now, this has 4 layers, counting the one that was on there that was the mucky muck. Okay, there are little things of gold on there. That's the mucky muck.
Now, did you say that? So, each one of these layers has to dry.
Yes. I mean, I've been working on this since Thursday.
Some of them, yes.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to go with the paint that you can't buy anymore. But you can mix this. It's not really it's just so nice to have something, you know, already in a bottle.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Get back in there.
Now, you really should try to mix that before you know.
Use it all. Yeah, I know. I know.
That would be a good one for the book.
It would be a good one for the book.
Ooh, Barbara has a good question. What's Barbara's good question?
Well, we'll see if Jane pulls.
Hi, Fia. How am I not seeing Barbara? Oh, there we go. I'm not understanding. Some people pull right away. You seem to be left. Yes. Okay. All right. And this is a question that we get a lot on, you know, whenever I post the polls, because you're seeing the final thing.
Yeah.
The, you know, fireworks show. But really what has happened over days usually, because at the very least a couple of hours for each layer
to dry properly, because if you don't dry it properly between them, you run your brayer over the top of it, it will do like that one and pick it up.
You're not going to get prints like this.
No.
You will not get defined, especially like stencil stuff. Now, a lot of times what you guys are seeing when people are doing quick pulls of things is just more painty papers, more painterly looking stuff versus defined design. That requires for things to be dry at each layer. Another thing to keep in mind is on that final pull, especially when you have more than a couple layers, you are going to want that to sit overnight.
I'm not pulling any of these until tomorrow.
Yeah, or
that's
Tuesday.
just to be safe, because the reason is it's going to pull up that layer that you just put down. No problem.
Right.
But if you want the rest of the stuff that you've got down there,
if you want the full print and a clean plate, it must dry. The more layers you have, the longer it needs to dry.
It takes
also, the thicker that final pull paint is, the better.
Yes, because it's going to have more of a chance to get down into those little, because you can actually see the texture on this.
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy even when you put that final coat on there.
Yeah,
you'll really see the raised surface of whatever design is there. Hello, Gayla.
Is that our Gayla? I had to do the ritual smudging in case I'm invited to the nerd.
Oh,
well, we're so glad that
Gayla, you're VIP. You just go right in, sweetie.
Yeah.
You and Eddie.
Eddie
owns the nerd, so you know.
You've already been nerded.
You've been anointed a nerd. And that's not that you like a nerd.
I don't know what I'm going to do to Lucas when
some nerdy stuff right there.
I can't reach in there and get some.
Hey, Jeanette. This is Jeanette Vilda. So we've got Jeanette and Jeanette.
Yay! Good to see you. We need to talk.
I know. Oh, and she just, if you want to see some very beautiful, just precision journal building, Jeanette is your girl. And she just, I think a couple weeks ago or just recently, she put out a new one.
Ah! I have one of hers.
We do have one of her books.
Well, I sure got enough paint there. But you know what? If you don't want what happened on that one to happen to you. Oh, and did you see that little piece of
Well, Katara, you will be, once you do get a plate, you will be very, I doubt you will be disappointed.
Now, I'm leaving this pretty thick because I know I'm going to dry it overnight.
Yeah.
And, I have really saturated this
You
paper.
have. You got a lot of that.
Well, I got a lot of going on here. And then I'm lollygagging, trying to get one piece of paper out. I have a wet brayer that's, you want to get that off, that wavy stuff. Mm-hmm. Because remember, I messed up a brayer and it didn't come back. Okay, here's hoping.
Hey, Sherry. And hey, Lori, if I didn't say hello.
Well, I don't know that I love that.
I like it.
I don't know that I love it.
I think it looks cool. I think it will also give a bit more pop. Because remember, this is one of your kind of older plates, a little more yellowy. So it's sort of, it's sort of.
True that.
You're not getting true color through the plate.
But you can see some of those original little, and I think what I did with this one is I used some of Patty's mixture.
Something else to keep in mind, which is kind of funny, I don't think that we always really focus in on it, but one of the interesting things that happens with these types of prints, if you do have more of those open spaces, as that paint saturates down in there, sometimes it will bleed out even more than what you're seeing right there.
This is true. Now this is definitely...
It will alter the color as it does that as well.
Well, and it certainly will if your color down there is transparent. These are pretty opaque. And we've got some interesting crackling stuff going on here that I don't know why that is. And I'm hoping that doesn't create a problem. Can you see what I'm talking about?
Okay, say that
See how
again.
the cracks go? I don't know why that is. But anyway, all right, let's pull this with, let's see. Thinking some of this.
That is true. Oh, good call. Devin says yes. For those of you that don't have plates and you're looking around for them, that's good information. Most of our plates are gel press. P does own one of the 9x12 Gelli Arts plates. They are a little bit thinner. We don't notice that there's maybe a difference as far as the thickness of the plate, but the gel press have a nicer smell. And speedball plates are meant for Akua inks, for more.
I don't buy those. You will be very sorry.
Well, it's just it's a different process.
Unless you want to,
it's a whole different thing.
All right. Did you see what I did here? And I don't know if this is really I put this underneath it. I'm going to lose some of my purple, but see that purple under there? It's color shift.
So the darker will...
I think it's still going... It's not going to be... what do I want to say? It's not going to be...
High contrast, knock your socks off. But I think there's going to be some cool shimmery business going on.
Subtle business going on. I'm trying
That's
not
what
to
she's
use
trying to say.
It's a dadgum much paint.
That's what I'm here for.
Yes.
Hello, Sandra. Oh, she's banged up ankle. Sorry.
Oh,
And
okay.
hello, Mary Ellen. That's true. I love that. So Mary Ellen says, so I guess Eddie's chair, because, you know, it is his nerd, so I guess he gets the main throne. And then Paula can, you know, sit next to him in the other throne, because those two are two peas in a pod. Chair made with palette knives and colored pencils, like the Game of Thrones.
Well, you
Love
need to talk to Mark Anthony.
Mark Anthony?
Mark Anthony. You know,
Anthony Cody?
Cleopatra's.
Yeah, Mark Anthony.
Yeah.
Or are we talking about our Anthony?
Our Anthony.
It's now been dubbed Mark Anthony. Watch out if you're Cleopatra. It gets weird around here.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about sending him all of these crap pencils that I have and having him make me a bowl
Aw.
or something.
How do you have a broken hand?
Oh, mercy.
Jeanette. Hey, you can do your talk to text.
All right, now check this
Oh,
out.
yeah. That was a very good call. You lost a lot of that kind of pinky business happening in the background, but I think it was well worth it.
I do too, because it's bringing to alive that color shift.
Yes. Color shift, key thing with it is that it really does its thing on dark, like either on top of dark paint or black paper or, you know, anything dark.
That is going to be
That's when it really does its thing.
Well, I think we're getting down to the finish line here, folks. Got another one that's kind of, I really like this, and I'm going to use that same.
The Speedball 4-inch Brayer, right? That's kind of the best one to start out with. That's the most, is it the 4-inch? I think it is.
I don't know.
The little hot dog handle one.
Yeah.
That's what I call it, hot dog handle. You know, it's got pink handle.
I think
That
it's
one.
4 inches. I don't know. I'm terrible at. And I've got some issues here. I don't know what.
Now, if you have a really big plate, although you don't need a really big brayer until you want to master like the whole ombre business. Yeah,
4
4
inch.
inches.
Yeah, I've got a 3 inch, a 4 inch, and then I think
Yeah.
it goes up to 6 inches. Oh my God, nothing's going back in here. There we go. Driving me crazy.
Got to have a little meltdown.
Paper down here.
Yeah.
Make sure my brayer's still rolling and I don't have anything touching.
Oh, and
Okay, we're
actually,
going
I'm
to use
put
this
a
same
link
color. I want to show you why. Because this last layer on here that you're seeing through the clear part is color shift. And it is going to take away some of the pink, though. I don't know if I want that. Let's see what we've got here. We could go with this. Let's do that. Just for, you know, chuckles and grins. This is Lucas Krill Carmen. I really like these studio paints in the Lucas Krill. They're not cheap, but they're not as expensive as Amsterdam. I don't think. Are they, Mariah? Or am I just saying that because we always seem to get them on sale?
Okay, sorry, I was reading something else. Say that again.
The Lucas Krill, the price of the Lucas Krill
I
paint.
think it's pretty reasonable, but yes, we usually look for them on sale.
But they're absolutely wonderful paints. Now, the pastels, I don't care for those so much. They're dry. But for people who are painters, and they like for their paint to dry quickly, boy, that's where you want to go, because that stuff dries right
Also
away.
creates a fantastic pull paint whenever
You
mixed.
mix it.
Yeah. And that we have over there in her mix guide, which is free on our website. But yeah, I put a link into our blog for our video on gel printing basics. On that blog, it has a link to the video too. So it has supply lists, why we use things, how we use things, all that.
Can you see the shine?
Yes. That's a good wiggle. She's a wiggler from way
That's
back.
a good one. That's going to be a good one.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, well, we just have a
Hello, Mimi. Sorry, I know you came in there earlier. I was looking up
Now
things.
here, I want to show you a nice bottom layer here.
A first layer.
First layer.
Kind of mucky muck, but purposefully.
Yeah. All right, well, let's just put something down on there.
She's been playing with her little washes.
I have.
Washouts. Hello,
Okay.
Dawn.
I have. So let's just...
Question. I have been trying to pull light base color with dark top layer. To no avail. Tried various combos of opaque, transparent. Any advice would be appreciated. Okay, so pull a light base color with a dark top. Well, my question
So,
is...
all right, so the light base is the one that you put down first. Is that what?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay, well,
understanding.
here. All right, let's just do it.
Because that's a
Let's
light,
just do it.
transparent. It's metallic, but it is transparent.
Yeah, all right. So, you've got that underneath, and I'm just going to ignore that. We're going to go with,
Oh, I like this idea of the red bubbles behind it.
yeah. Okay, so I would say this is light.
Well, but then your red's dark.
Well, I mean, it's...
And that's kind of what she's talking about.
she's
But you're not going
talking
to
about...
pull... The thing is, she's not going to pull it with
I'm
this.
not going to pull it.
This
This
is ours.
is just a layer. And the whole thing about it is you have to wait.
Yeah, wait.
Sweetie.
That's exactly what
You gotta
Devin just
wait.
said.
I don't care what your paint combination is here.
Yeah.
If you put another color paint on top of that one, it's wet. It ain't going to be that color anymore.
And if you, you're going to mix it all at this point. Or if you were to just put a piece of paper down now, all you're going to get is the dots.
Yeah. You're not going to
That's a
get
quick
the other
pull.
stuff.
Must wait. And must have a pull color. Or a pull layer.
Have a piece of paper ready because you're always going to get some of this. And sometimes these are the ones that end up being absolutely stunning.
Paula says you're showing us your bottom.
My bottom?
Your bottom layer.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Well, thank God you're not looking at the real deal. Of course, I could stand, the other end of the football field and you'd still be able to see me quite nicely. Okay, here
Size
you go.
matters. When you want to be seen.
Okay, so if I want to pull this, since this is a darker color, so we're just going to switch out what you just said. And if they're opaque colors, it doesn't matter diddly squat.
Yeah.
The thing is, you got to let it dry. Are you going to be pulling it up, or you're not going to be getting your pattern down? Okay. I'm glad we had that little talk.
Yeah. I think sometimes we forget to mention all of that.
Yeah.
And so we have new people come in and they think, oh, okay, well, you put it down and you pull it, or you see us just pulling them.
Okay.
Well, they've sat over there, some of them for days.
Hell, I've not been known to, when, I forget, one gets shoved to the back.
Yeah, well, the little ones.
I forget. All right, so what did she say? She had light color. Okay, let's go with a totally light color.
Okay, light base color.
Light base color. All right, we're
dark
going to go like
top.
really, really, totally light color. Does that qualify?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Another one that this would be cool to mix with, peas in a pod. You got all the different bubble things.
Oh, yeah.
That would be interesting because they're going to hit in different spots and they're different. Like these are a little bit more organic, where like peas in a pod are perfect circles. That would be fun.
Just got to think about those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I wanted to make this even lighter, anticipating and going forward that I'm going to pull it with a dark color or a darker, what's her name?
Exactly, Devin.
Does this all the time. Does her little...
I think she means what's her name? Elizabeth.
Yeah.
St. Hilaire.
She's got great glasses. I'm very envious of her glasses collection. But, I don't have time for that and rather buy paint.
There you go. Priorities.
Yeah. And remember, when you're doing this onto the stencil, you want to make sure that you've got plenty of paint. Don't be sparing with your paint. No sense in it. All right, now I really wanted to do a wipe off on this. I want to do a flop off on this. And here we'll just go.
Guys, welcome. Thank you for asking the questions, because sometimes we forget and we just don't know. We have extremely helpful people in the chat, so that's one reason showing up to live streams
Okay,
is
that's
always
getting
fun.
ready to fall. If you're a big crash, no worries. No
Look
one
at that
has,
Brayer
it didn't-
switch.
It didn't fall on the dog. Okay, see, that's why you have that ready. See that?
Sometimes the Brayer offs are the best. Look at that layering.
Look at that layering.
Instant.
Instant layering. And make sure you do this on your paper, because if you don't, you're going to have little wavy lines on there, and I need to get some, I don't need to worry about that because I'm letting this dry.
Now this is an opaque first base layer.
Yeah.
Going over there to
And,
dry.
you know, the thing is that's going to dry fairly rapidly. I mean, seriously.
It's important to keep your bottom dry. That is true.
Yes.
That applies in many situations.
And see, I'm going to show you this. Can you see the little wavy business on here? That's because I didn't brayer off on a sheet over here.
And then what happens is it will build up more.
Yeah. That's going to be really cool.
When I pull it, will it clean the plate? Pretty much.
It should, if you've got a clean plate to start with. And you've got
A conditioned.
You've made sure that you put lots of pressure on when you were.
Y'all even notice, like, and we say it a lot in the reels, crack them edges, because you want to get that paint up. And it's important to crack those edges once, because when it's all fully dry, you have a lot of build of paint around the edge of the plate. So you get down there with the Baron or with your hands or your thumbs or, you know, whatever, crack those edges. Because if you don't, that's where a tear can start.
Yes.
And then you're all set.
Because that's where the most of your paint buildup is, on these edges anyway. So it's very thick there.
Mm-hmm.
And even as you go pull it up, you know, kind of pay attention. Because you can take your fingernail and get underneath and loosen that up so that it's not tearing as you're pulling it. Or if you have a tear that's starting out in the middle somewhere, pull from the other way. Now Fran comes in and does all this kind of malarkey with the clear whatever, but
She says
yeah, I don't want to do that.
That's just not her jam. All right,
That ain't my jam.
Colleen says you can also use one stencil like 3 times on one. Just change your colors of paint, but you still have to draw them in between colors.
Yeah. That's what's her name does all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got Lovely Mucky Mug on here.
What's her name is Elizabeth St. Hilaire.
Yes. And the other thing is you've noticed that she will flip it. Because if you have an asymmetrical design, it's not going to be the same on both ends. So if you flip it, you've essentially got, like, you know, different marks on different ends. Or different shapes, whatever. Yeah. Okay, there's that. All right. I'm pretty jazzed about this.
Oh, Kathy, she's kind of hardcore. She completely cleans her brayer between colors. I think Carrie kind of does that sometimes too. He wipes up a lot of things so the colors aren't mixing. Now that's less of an issue, especially for P. She doesn't really mind a little bit of that. But the main reason that you want to brayer off is that you don't want the paint building up on your brayer that much, because it will clog up. It causes issues. It has weird buildup.
Yeah, have a texture to it that you're not going to like on future. All right, I've always kind of, you know, and I don't, you know, I have enough time there that, and that paint dries rapidly. There's not any residual coming off, and sometimes I just leave it on there because I like that. All right, I think I've got that down the right way. When you have a new stencil, there's a right way and a wrong way. You can feel a little bitty edge on the one that you need to put down, because it's kind of got a little lip on it. You won't see it.
Right.
You can actually feel it. I mean, you really can with your fingers. And it's best to start with that down, and nobody tells you that. but it's really important.
Oh, yeah. Carrie has never had a Brayer skin. That's one of the you know, there's pluses and minuses. So if you want the weird skin, but if you're team skin, you can let the colors or the layers build up on your brayer, and eventually you will need to peel it.
Yes, and I do that quite frequently. I like it.
And we don't know what to do with them
It's
yet.
satisfying.
But we have them.
We have them.
We have them.
We have them available.
For the perfect project.
Should the need arise.
Yes.
And I do have some ideas about that, but I just really haven't. Okay. Let's, we've got a blue going on here, and I just kind of like to maybe stay with that. I want something semi-transparent is what I'm looking for.
Got away from you, Eddie.
What?
The conversation.
Oh. All right, I'm just going to do something really weird, and I don't know that it's what I need to do, but I would like the bricks to be suggestive rather than, you know, absolute. I want them to show through a little bit. So I'm using this titanium white in the high flow acrylic, so it's very watery.
Okay, before you move on with that.
Okay.
A little bit of info here, question kind of thing. So Gayla says when she's pulling her prints, the back of the paper will be damp, but it's definitely adhered to the plate. 8 minutes. I think the rules may be different for thinner papers. I never seem to tear. Okay. There are so many factors. Where you live is one. How, you know, if you have AC or, you know, during winter heat or whatever running, is there a fan, is there a window open? All of these things are factors in how
Variables
quickly
that need to be considered.
Yeah. So there isn't like, you know, oh, let it sit. You know, we say 2 hours because that's probably, you know, no matter where you're at.
Yeah, it's
On thinner layers, they're going to dry. But yeah, and Devin says this a lot in her videos, which is really great. One of the things you want to do is feel it. If it's cool, it ain't dry. So you can chance it. There's nothing that says that you can't pull that. But here are the things that are going to possibly happen. Number one, not everything is going to come up off of the plate. If you pull too soon, if you have certain papers, and this is kind of what Gayla was alluding to, I think, is that it will tear. Sometimes the paper actually separates.
Slight pink cast to it.
It does.
Yeah, is this all right?
Yeah.
And we have a little oopsie whoopsie there, but that is not. That's not
right.
Terribly irksome.
It's kind of like the wall was. They do that wash. You know that lime wash, isn't it? Is it lime wash?
Yeah, and I could even graffiti on this.
You could graffiti on that
That's
wall.
too late. I'd have to pull it and then graffiti on something else.
Bye, Becky.
All right, now I've got. Oh, that looks cool.
Very cool. Now, a long time ago, people had requested bricks that had a little bit more. They weren't perfect. So here those are. Thank you, Rhonda.
All right, see my brayer? I want to make sure. I don't care if it's clean or not, but I don't care if there's a pattern on there, but I don't want it to be bumpy.
Oh, great info, Lynn. She keeps a basin of water with Murphy. That's the Murphy's oil. It's like a soapy, or not soapy.
It's
an
oily.
Yeah.
It does.
It is soap. So that she can dunk her brayer and stencils as she goes. And that's great, especially if you want to keep your stencils. You know,
I would say you need to wash that soap off you need to have another rinse pan there because.
Well, yeah, she's just saying it's a temporary thing. Then goes and does the big wash afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is going to be interesting. I think that was a really good color choice. And even the pink that came through, I sort of like that. It kind of added another little, you know, unintended. And I love how some of the bricks are kind of, you know, they've it didn't cover it completely. I like that. That's going to be, that's going to make it interesting.
Well, and here's the thing. So, Rhonda says, I hope those cracks come off with it. That will be really cool.
Well, they will.
They will, if you leave it and let it dry. proper pull paint.
Yeah. That will come off. Now here we've got some more. And these are kind of... So I think I'm just going to keep going with bricks because I really like that.
Well, you can stack them up. You can stack them bricks, Yuta.
Stack them up.
She wanted to know if they were running the other way. But
Well,
you could set it side by side.
yeah, you could do that.
But no, we don't have them. But if you really wanted them, Yuta, if you put it in the notes, we'll try to make that happen for you.
I don't think it'd be a big...
That's not a big ask.
Okay, we've got some more stuff on there, which we like. Let's... and it's kind of gray, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's try to get us kind of some bricky stuff going on here. I don't know, bricky stuff. You know, what's bricky? Oh, let's use some of our... Look at this mix that I made. All right, this is going to be fun.
Look at this unattainable color.
This is my clean out mix, and it used to be translucent. I think it was
The fire something.
Fire something in the paper artsy. I should have put a smaller label on there so you could read all that stuff, but you know, who cares? It doesn't matter anyway.
Getting bricky with it.
I don't know. But this is loosey-goosey, right? Everybody understands the loosey-goosey part. It's my washout.
Don't tell anybody you got it.
So, it's going to go down in there.
Oh, you could mix in some colors there. That would be
I
great.
know.
Okay.
I'm thinking
Is that what
this.
you're thinking? Okay.
Yeah. So that's where this is going.
That was my idea.
Going to have some cellular business going on there.
Oh, that makes sense. Yes, yes, yes.
What?
Carrie said that having the bricks go the other direction would be great for the journal pages. So maybe we do just make another set. Because the pages, so that way the bricks are running the right way.
Oh, yeah.
Because you'd be folding the page. Yeah.
I was just saying, just turn your paper. Jeez. But yeah, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
no, so you can put the whole sheet down and then, yeah.
Okay,
no.
I don't know that I'm loving that.
But you know what? You've created a really cool little texture thing happening there.
Yeah. And see, some of them are almost completely blocked out.
And then you had some seepage.
Then I've got seepage. That's always lovely. You know, it's just a whole lot of good stuff.
Are you going to pull up the stencil?
What?
Are you going to pull up the stencil?
No, I don't think I'm going to pull it up quite yet because I think I want to...
You want it to hold in.
I want it to hold in. Now, this is kind of... I don't know.
This
may be the wrong thing to do, but we're doing it anyway.
Why we're saying this might be the wrong thing to do, as the paint dries on the stencil and if you let it stay there, you run the risk of the paint attaches to the stencil and creates a little, you know, it holds on to it.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think I've got enough. I think it's staying. But the reason that you don't want to leave it on is because all those places where it did seep under, the stencil will pull it up.
And it stays onto the stencil, and then it's kind of a pain
When
to
it
clean.
dries. And you also run the risk of messing up your stencil because it's grabby, and if you have a really oh, that looks cool. If you have a really delicate little flimsy, you know, line, you risk the danger of tearing something up.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, cobblestone road.
Put that aside. Okay, now let's talk about this layer. This is one of the mini layers in the ones that I showed you earlier that we already made. Not. This needs to dry completely, and it's very.
Hi, Donna.
What do I want to say? It has a lot of moisture in it, so it takes a little longer to dry, and it's beaded up, and you can see what's going to happen to some extent. It's a layer. It's a textured layer. And the next layer we come in with, it can either be lighter or darker. And the fact that we haven't matched it up exactly is probably not going to be a terribly big factor because this is more suggestive than actual.
Well, and I think what would be cool, I don't know if this is what you were sort of saying because I'm reading chat too, but if you can put the stencil back down on the next layer.
Yeah, definitely.
And sort of match it up, but
Yeah,
it's not a big deal if it doesn't.
But, and then add another layer.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And so here, we're already at, with crackles being 1, and then wash out bricks with a second layer.
Right. And what I really want to do here eventually is bring in this guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before the final.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not the final.
The next layer should be a more semi-transparent.
It definitely needs to be semi-transparent because you want, the reason we put these down is we want it to be more of, you want to incorporate it. You don't want it to be, well, number one, you don't want to cover it up.
All right.
And you don't want, because we still want to add another layer
Of brick.
of brick, and then I want to put this down and I want to see all of that underneath. So, you need to think about all of those things, and it really is a complicated process. And you learn by doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what works for me, it's easy for me to talk about it. But
We can theorize all day long, y'all. Call the shots.
I'm excellent at that. And it sometimes materializes and sometimes doesn't. All right, here is a, it was left behind.
This is the French rolls from Thursday.
Yes. Which is now all
French curves.
cut apart because I wanted it to come in different.
You're going to have to show them what you did to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will show you as soon as I find it. All right, now let's see. I think we're going to go with the circles.
Devin says we're very good at explaining our reasoning for our decisions.
Well, there you go.
I like that.
Okay.
Thank you, Dev.
Now, I am pressing on this. You're not going to have as good of an adhesion to the surface because there's already a lot of paint down there covering it up. But you can see it's not scooting on me. And you can even take your clean brayer and do a bit of this to make sure that, you know, you've got it all down where it needs to go.
And that's definitely key with stencils that have more Yupo, because thicker areas of it will not, you know, it'll bubble. And so you need to get that down to the plate so you don't have the seepage.
All right, so we're going to do the same thing here. This is the dioxazine purple, and you can see it's semi-transparent. And I would like to put that down, and I've also thought, well, maybe the white would be cool. Because this isn't my final layer. I'm just adding another layer. And I may even add up to 2 more, depending. The other option that I've got here, we're just exploring our options. Exploring our options is to come in with one of the color change, because then that's going to almost be like, you know, something in the background. And we can go with something low contrast, like the yellow. And it's just going to add that other little sense of depth. I'm going to go with this. Oh my goodness, this is almost ready for clean out.
Thanks, Monica. Monica says a lot of great info and tips this morning.
Okay, that is really on there thick.
It's like it's reflecting.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Thick, thick, thick. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Trying to get some of that thick paint off on my Brayer off sheet here so that I can actually use that. And then I'll hold it up and you can kind of get an idea of what's going to happen here.
It's so bright. That's gonna be pretty cool.
I think it's going to be very cool. And I think if I pull it with or if I come back in, and this is what I may do, because this is when you can really, you know, play with your, what pattern do you want to show? Well, the yellow is more opaque than the gold that's down there. We know that, right? We know that gold's on there as a first layer. So whatever I put on top of this, the circles, it's going to deepen that color, but then you're still going to be able to see around it. So if we use something like, say, this, you see that? It's not going to be earth-shatteringly, you know, obvious or anything, but it's just going to add that other little bit of glimmer. And the reason I like using this stuff is because it goes on thinly and it doesn't create a huge barrier paint surface.
Right.
It's light and airy. Well, I need some more of that. All right, so this must dry completely. Overnight is best because you can see by the texture that's down there, I left this very thick. I did not brayer off a lot of paint.
Yeah.
2 reasons. I wanted it thick for the purpose of covering, but also I didn't want to be brayering and picking up with my brayer the gold that's underneath, because that happens.
Mm-hmm.
You can brayer off paint quite easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kayla says the yellow scares her a little bit.
The yellow scares her. Okay, I don't know that this is completely dry, but I think it's dry enough to do something with. This looks so cool. I'm going to put that aside. Boy, I've got a lot of good papers to use for making packets. How to get this thing just right over here. Okay, there we go. All right, so light color, we're going over it with a dark color, right?
Well, you guys had some great questions. You know,
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, well,
we sound a lot smarter when you guys ask questions.
Darker than dioxazine purple. I mean, you know, black. Black's the next one. This is a great paint. And all different companies have this. It's just that I think this was on sale. Oh!
Goodness.
Well, that's just the amount we needed.
It just so happens.
Sucked it back in.
Jeanette wants to know, will the yellow brown out some if you put the purple down on top of it? Yes.
Yeah, it will. That is a very good question. All right, now when you're dealing with paint that you're not sure if it's completely dry, tread gently. Don't bear down on that. Don't elephant stomp your... And don't be afraid to leave a little bit on the plate. You know?
Yeah.
it's a pull layer. We know that this is it. Now, that doesn't mean we can't add more to this once it's drying off of here. Since the paper form, we can come back in and do some other things also. This must dry completely.
Ooh, that's fun. These are fun stencils. Simple, fun. You can build up awesome layers with simple and fun, though.
Okay, that's on there. That's the white that's on there is not the paper showing through, it's the paint. So that's important also. Boy, we've got a ton of stuff here to pull. What do we have over here? We've got some more. Oh, okay, this is... Okay, so we've got sort of a dark color here, so we want to put a light color over the top. And if we went with something like a really opaque yellow, it's going to wipe out, probably you're not going to see the gold as such. Oh yeah, we could even use that.
I don't know if there's any left in there.
Yeah.
I can pull out the old set. Now, I think Colleen was saying that you wanted kind of an opaque, the closest thing to an opaque yellow.
Oh, I have opaque yellow. I have opaque yellow.
Yeah?
An old paint.
Old paint.
I've got this, which I think this is semi. It says opaque, but
Most
it's a damn
yellows,
lie.
yeah, I was going to say, most yellow just by nature is going to...
Now this stuff is opaque.
Which one is that one?
This is an old one. Brilliant yellow, cadmium yellow. Oh, it says translucent. Oops. Don't use
Not that one.
Not that one. Glad we're reading
Labels.
labels. Translucent.
I know you have one that is pretty, like...
Yeah, I do, but I don't know which one it is.
Are you sure it's not the Amsterdam? I think it's the Amsterdam one.
Okay, this is Naples yellow. This is opaque. Because I've got Naples yellow in this. Anytime you have Naples yellow, it's a mix. And it will be. You can tell it's slightly... When it starts coming out and it gets kind of globby. Yeah. That's alright. You can still use it.
There's a gnat over here.
Well, I'm glad he's on your side, not mine. He hears the Brayer and he's coming in for his fix of my whiskey.
And she's got to be really careful because that paint, even though, yes, it's dry to the touch.
Yeah. It's still not completely probably
Yeah.
dry underneath. It's just enough that I can work it. And I am treading very lightly here. Not putting any pressure on that at all.
So was that a heavy body Liquitex?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to put a link to it just from their website. So that's the yellow.
And they have Naples yellow is one that I really like. Naples yellow. I've got it in golden also. But I just thought we needed to use that up and
Yeah.
didn't know how much was there. But I think this is a good call. You can still see the gold, but it's really making the red pop. Yeah, that's good. It's kind of touchy when I get papers on my plates because they kind of overlap a little bit. Alright, what do we got going here? Not anything that we can possibly pull there.
Oh, there's all the... Here's a link to all the yellows.
Alright, you can see I just pulled this out and see the glossy stuff and the little bubbles there? That's not dry. So we're not going to do anything to that right now. Oops, this isn't dry either. Just put my finger down on the brick, but it's okay. It's okay. That's just going to be so cool.
Yes.
So cool. Okay, nothing's drying today, folks. Well, let's see what we have back here.
Do you have one to pull?
Oh, I do. Yes, remember this one? Now, I can't even tell you how many layers.
Well, you need to talk through that one because talk through with what you can remember.
Well, so you can see what color the last color was.
It's an ombre.
It's an ombre. And that was as requested by Mariah. All right, very carefully because I know that I'm pulling a lot of paint here with a very flimsy piece of
Well, it's carnival.
But that is, yeah. And here's where you run into trouble right here on this edge. So what I do is I just kind of gently come along here and loosen all that. See what I just did? Yeah, try not to.
Don't do that.
Because that's where it's most vulnerable. It's on those edges.
Bye, Heather.
Not so much the ones where it overlapped, but the ones where it's here. See, it's already starting to.
Oh, nice.
All right. Well, let's come at it another way. I can't do any more there.
Ooh, these are going to be some cool crackles.
Really pay attention when you're pulling here.
Someone asked on Instagram, why is it so tough to pull?
This is sticky.
Well, because it's dry. So many people are used to seeing people do the quick pulls. And so then when you see somebody pull a dry one, they're like, man, what's the deal? It's taking you so long.
Oh, and look at that edge there. This.
Oh, no worries.
All right, let me get rid of this because we need to talk about this.
Got some things to say about this.
We got some things to say about this 49 layers.
It's not 49, but it's 5 or 6.
Okay. So you can see this in between stuff here.
Can you hold that up to the technology?
Oh, I can. Let me get a stiffener.
Yeah.
There was already stuff on the plate when I put the leaves down, right? Everybody understands that. And then in between that...
They may not understand that.
Oh.
And here's why it may not be apparent. You think, oh, well, didn't that happen afterwards? No.
No.
Because those opaque layers will kind of eat it up. So you don't notice it. So it looks like that layer was done behind it, when in fact it was done before it.
Then, once the leaves were down, I played around with some different of the cleanouts and gold.
And some of this you guys can see from the last stream, because she did some of these layers.
I did some of these layers.
And then the weird crackle business was already on there.
Yeah.
That yellow streaky business is what those...
Yes, the
crackles.
Yellow streaky stuff, that was on there to begin with.
Yeah.
Then, I don't know, it may have been even some other stuff that was down. But now these crackles that are on here now that were left on the plate back there, those will be there for my next layer.
Yeah, and if you hold it up again, you can tell in some of those places that, yes, the crazing was done before. Because you can still see it in some of the leaves.
You can. But then there's a double layer of crazing done after. So it's two layers there.
Kind of one before and one after.
One before and one after. And the first layer of crazing wasn't so very obvious.
Right.
It was more subtle. And it was just, I don't know, I was just playing around with it. But then...
The darker brown one was done after.
Yeah. And then it added some, you can see the gold. The gold was, I put the gold down and then put the other one down over it, and it just kind of bubbled up there. Looks cool, I think. Almost looks like a
Yes, hugs to you and hugs.
marbly surface.
And look at that paint on this hanging off of there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Look at that.
This tells you something. Well, you know, it could have not just been this layer. It could have been.
It picked up whatever, like, you know, it kind of rolls over to the side.
Yeah, that's a nice little strip. We'll save that.
Yeah, because some of those colors are not in there.
Yeah, they're not. They're definitely not. I'm not even sure that, you know, I don't think this was a color that was added. It was just there. But, you know, that's kind of what's cool about that. But you do risk having a bit of, you know, a problem pulling those kind of things.
Oh, Sonia says make beads out of that.
Oh, yeah. Now, this has multiple, you can tell. It's got the turquoise and it's got that kind of coppery gold business going on there. There's a little bit of, I don't know what, some other stuff there. Okay, this is wonderful stuff. You know, this is what you want.
Are you going to show them your cut up French curve?
Okay. Well, one of the reasons that I cut this up is because I thought it was I thought the pattern on it was really lovely already, and I thought about using it.
Look at that.
And I don't think I'm going to use it. I think I'm going to keep it and use it for
Embellishment.
Embellishment, because I think it's just wonderful.
It's really
But
beautiful.
the reason that I did this because I'm going to use it for whatever. But here's the thing. I like having this freedom, and I may just go ahead and have Mariah make me one of these and then go ahead and cut it up. These areas in between here.
Well, and here's the thing. We cannot, our limitation is a 9x12 sheet. So even though this is a 9x12 plate, in all actuality, the largest we can cut is an 8.5 by 11.5. So, if you want to utilize your larger plate, this is why masks are lovely, because you can spread them out and put them to the edge.
And that's basically, you know, what this is a mask. And I really wanted this, but I knew that I was probably going to have to, if I cut it here and cut it here, I'd have a lovely little oval circle thing. But then I'd have to do some major alteration here on this one because it just wasn't, you know, quite. I could do a little curvy thing there.
Yeah.
But that's gonna look a little funky there. It doesn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
So I'd probably, you know, come back in and maybe cut that part off and just lose that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. No, the reason I didn't cut it apart is because I didn't know what to do on this one.
Yeah. Something to keep in mind too, like, I mean, we can turn this into a, you know, pieces set, but again, you're going to lose size because we can only fit it within.
Yeah, see, it's going to go off, but that's kind of okay. I could put that on the diagonal there.
Yeah, that's nice. And then that little piece can go into the corner. You just need to round that off.
Well, I can round that off, but I don't know how if I'm going to like it. I don't know if it's going to look purposeful or if it's just going to look like, you know, something's been, I don't know, that doesn't look bad.
I'm good at this too.
And we're just going to make that a little, kind of a little, you know, a little pointy thing like it's on that one. Yeah, the other side is nice on this too.
I like this though. It looks like, you know, old ironwork that's been painted, but then it starts to kind of, or it's been painted a few different colors, but then it's all starting to flake off.
Yeah, and what I might do, because that would be a nice patina. Just want to make sure everything's covered here. Just take some of my washout business here. Because this is going to kind of take away a lot of that turquoise.
Sad about that a little bit.
Well,
Just going to turn it froggy green. So, one of the reasons, like especially with these washouts, is that she has added a little bit of water. So that's why it's going super crazy.
I think that looks really wonderful. Okay, now I've got a little bit of my pink here.
Also why it takes a lot longer for it to dry.
Yeah. I'm painting my stencils as much as I am. I don't really care.
It's not really about the gel plate, the print. This is about the stencils.
This, you know.
Turning them into embellishments, addables, fun gluey-on-y things.
Fun gluey-on-y things. All right, now here's... All right, here's the thing. This is where you can lollygag and, you know, contemplate your navel.
We also went from spring to fall.
Yeah. You know.
Okay, sorry.
But you're still, because I'm using these translucent colors, and you will notice I start getting smaller. I start getting thicker as this dries. So you can just keep working it.
So as it dries, you can spread the paint.
And the paint's going to stick because it's sticking to itself. It's drying up. It's
catching and spreading.
It's making, you know, sticky stuff. And you just, you know, quit at the point where, you know, you're happy with the with the cellularization. But that's the trick to this stuff. See what's happening?
Mm-hmm. I'm a little sad at what you did to those, though. I liked the spring
Yeah, I kind of
colors.
did too.
It's okay. Add something else.
That's right. They're not precious.
Definitely. That's going to be pretty cool. It will be subtle.
Yeah.
And maybe you can check your plates over there to see if anybody's kind of ready to...
Come off.
That's funny, Laura.
I think this is lovely.
It is very pretty. I preferred the other, but it is still quite beautiful.
And a transparent gold over the top of this to just make it shimmer ever so slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's some good stuff there, Maynard.
Also very important to let, if you're doing this to your stencils to, you know, cut them up and stick them down or do whatever, important to let them dry in between.
Yeah, without stacking them on top of each
Because
other.
otherwise it's just going to turn into a
will
single
pull off.
color blob of brown.
Yeah.
Basically.
Basically.
Yeah. Hello, Yanka.
All right, we're going to bring this back over, and I'm going to clean up this down here, because this is just an accident waiting to happen when you're using the tissue paper. You saw it. Tear.
Oh yeah, Eddie did put a video out this morning.
Oh, he did.
That's what I was watching. That's why I blamed him on me being late and then screwing up and creating a new.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was his fault.
What is he doing?
Thanks. Gotta go over and watch. He's using the stamps on the gel plate, which is great. On and off the gel plate, I think. Kind of. I hadn't gotten it all the way through.
Well, if I could just get myself organized enough to have some kind of, oh my gosh, here.
You see that
Here,
squirrel?
lollygagging and getting all kinds of funky stuff going on with my brayer. I don't think I have another one. Boy, it's looking really cool. Yeah, okay. I averted disaster.
Wonderful.
I knew you were worried about that. Just cleaning up this edge. I don't want to clean up the cool cracky stuff that's out there, but I am trying to do a little, you know, maintenance work here on the edge so that we don't have a similar situation to what we had with the other stuff. And this one little blob of purple down here is going to go.
Oh, good question. Monica asked, does P use distilled water, tap water for her mix? Just tap water. Ours is pretty good, kind of high chlorine content in just the regular water. We have it filtered downstairs, but, overall it's...
Yeah, I don't know. I never even thought about that being
a factor.
Nah. Actually, it's kind of nice because if it kills some of the bacteria that would grow in an otherwise, you know. I just don't want that line there because I think it looks artificial and dippy.
Dippy. No dippy lines.
There we go. Okay, got some nice stuff on there. And took off a bunch. Potentially hazardous material. Hazardous in the sense that, you know, it,
Really screw up a design.
or tear up your paper.
No.
That's always not fun.
No.
Okay, now these are fairly dry. I noticed that one over there still has a little. But see how pretty they are? And you can keep adding layers to this, and you know, it can become something to use in gluing down in your journal, your book, your whatever.
Your
okay.
what?
Yeah.
Your who's it, what's it?
Who's it, what's it? All right. I don't know. What do I do next? Oh, I'm going to check. You know, but I can touch these, and if they're still feeling cool to the touch,
Right. They're not ready.
they're not ready. Now that one might be. Oh, let's try it.
Yep.
You know, it's not like,
You got 27 minutes.
what's Patty always say? It's not going to the Metropolitan Museum.
It might.
It might.
Someday.
The other thing is when you're doing these kind of pulls where you have tons of layers here, have a clean plate.
Yes.
Show you how to. All right, look at that. That's perfection. That's what needs to happen.
So a lot of people have been asking, like, especially about this particular stencil, the Geometric Polynesian, aka Geopoly. And that one pull that she did. And this is kind of how you do it.
Yeah. Nice little shimmery layers in between, and remember, the layer that I pulled this with was that and the reason it looks limey green is because that's this color shift layer that was under it.
Hey, Dawn, and welcome to Powsie Wowsie. Thank you so much.
All right, let's clean this plate really quick. Okay, here's one of the things. If you put your fingers down on your plate and it feels slightly sticky, that's good. You put it down and it's dry as a bone,
You're not really getting...
you're not getting, nothing's going to adhere to that. So it's kind of it's really, this plate really doesn't need cleaning right now, but I'm going to go ahead and clean it just because I want to bring home the point. When you're doing multiple layers, you need to start with a clean surface.
Yeah.
You're not going to get good pulls if you have a dry, kneady plate.
Oh, they would look fantastic with the Victorian parlor paper. Carla, they are the French curve. And they should be, like, when you go to the stencils, because they're one of the newer ones, so it's going to be right there at the top of the list. But it's by Rhonda. And Paula asks, how best to glue down those Yupo beauties onto journals, etc., please? Okay, most of
That's Mariah's.
Yeah, she did. She said M.
Yeah.
Well, actually said Kim P or Mariah. It's
Yeah.
me.
I hand it over.
Yeah, 'cause she fights with it because she has no patience.
I don't.
In fact, it's funny. So for Royal's latest video, she has a little piece that she's gluing down. She used matte medium. That will work, but it does take a little bit longer. And the other thing, what's kind of funny, is that if you were gluing naked Yupo down, it's different than when you were gluing painted Yupo.
Painted Yupo.
Painted Yupo sticks a lot better because the paint has adhered to the Yupo, and now you are just needing to kind of adhere to the paint.
All right, how much time do we have?
The art glitter glue. Oh yeah, you need to show that. Yeah, you have.
I have time.
Yeah,
Right?
because it's you got 23 minutes.
All right. So here is, and I think.
Can you just hold that for a second so I can I finish my
Oh,
glue,
yes.
my glue talk?
Yeah, it's glue
Okay,
top.
very quickly. So art glitter glue, paint to paint or paint to page, perfect. You want to hold it down for a little bit. It doesn't happen right away. The Fabri-Tacs and things of that nature, I've only used the beacon glue like one time when I was having problems with, remember it was the, I think it was in the Shibori when I was gluing down the string thing. And,
Oh, yeah.
Or it was the tag book, one or the other. I think part of the reason for that was that, actually it was the tag book. The hammer mill paper has a certain coating on it. And I just don't think it was really more about not really the stencil, but adhering to the paper. And it took longer. But then I went ahead and came back with that beacon glue. So those are kind of the top ones really to get her done. So just to recap that very quickly, art glitter glue is going to be your biggest friend. The matte medium will work, but it takes a lot longer.
And what I find the
beacon.
matte medium is really great, you know, if you're doing more of a decoupaging thing where you're putting it on the top and the
Right,
bottom.
and that's kind of what she was doing, so I don't think
Yeah.
she was like gonna just pull out a separate glue.
Yeah,
But it's gonna take longer.
It
And I don't know how well it's gonna hold down.
I always have to go back in and hit the edges.
Yes.
So, and I remember that because when I was doing doors, a lot of the edges would flip up, and I'd have to come back in with the glitter glue and redo the edges. Which I think, you know, that's something that you're going to do anyway. All right, I just cleaned off the edges of those because
Oh, here, hold that into the thing. Yeah, a lot of journal makers use this, especially with fabric.
and when we do finally get back to,
But it's some heavy-duty business.
yeah.
Yeah, once we need to do a big cleanup. And then we will probably then do... We need to get back to Kiko's journal thing on your end of it to fix
to
the spine.
secure the cover to the thing. All right, so I put down, and whose stencil is this? Is this Rhonda's? This is hydrangea.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
one of the newer ones too.
All right, so one blog, somebody asked, or one, session and over here in the chat, asked why, if you could brayer on different colors and different quadrants and everything. Of course you can.
Yeah, that was the last stream.
No worries about that, whatever. What you can also do is you can also paint onto your, and I just left the stencil down.
Which is a better method if you want it in specific areas and
Yes.
you don't want it to be brayered and mixed.
Okay, so this started off with one of the, slurries, the cleanup mixtures. I don't know exactly which one. And then I went over it with a plain, this really transparent gold here.
Oh. Oh.
Filled in the little, you know.
It's kind of like pantyhose.
Kind of like, yeah. Then I put the stencil down and painted the greens on and the purples. So, what I want to pull this with, I think, is a really light color. And the reason is because I think that then if there's places where I've missed or places that have more, you can see those little dots of things. That's going to be like little shimmers.
Hello, Patty.
Patty? 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 Patty?
Patty, Patty. Are you going to stream
Hello?
later?
Hello!
Well, she streamed yesterday. Are you going to stream today? 2 days in a
we
row?
Watched, I watched you yesterday, and I would tell Mariah that things she needed to say. I don't know if she always said them.
I did a couple of times. I was also working on
All right,
things.
now this is the one that spit at me a while ago. So I'm going to really...
This is the spitter.
This is the spitter. And this is this... and why did we buy this? I really like this. It's
Laura, it will change your life. And now the Bear glue is similar, but not as good in my opinion.
I don't think it is either. Well, that's probably enough. Okay.
Oh yeah, that E6000,
I need
I've
more
used
of
that
this.
before. That's some heavy duty, very stinky, hardcore stuff. But I think it gets her done.
What is it?
That E6000 glue.
Oh, yeah.
That has some,
I used to use that for metal.
like shoes. We would use it to fix shoes.
Yeah. It definitely has
Might be a little overkill for
some
what we're talking about, but
chemical aspects to it. Okay, lots and lots of layers here. Want to make sure you've got a nice thick one to pull all that stuff up. I'm looking at that little dot out there and I'm thinking, yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
I'm just going to rub it in there
Just rub it in.
where I can see it. Because I know from experience, if I don't have something surrounding that, it isn't going to come up. It will stay and be part of the next layer.
Yeah.
Now, I spent a lot of time on this.
She did.
I'm sure there are better colorists out there. But here's the thing. It's like glass painting. Whatever you put down first is what you're going to get. So I think if I were to do this over again,
Kind of reverse it out with the purples.
I would have it have more, I would put more white, light.
So, yeah, because it would add more depth to it.
It would add more depth to it because it's kind of going to be kind of, but you know, I can always come back in with colored pencil.
Well, again, this is one of the older small plates. It's a little bit more yellowy. I think the brightness of it will be surprising once you pull it.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
Because it looks kind of dull and poopy right now. Okay. Now that definitely needs to dry for a day
Yeah.
or so.
It will be interesting if that one all comes up all the way.
Yeah, it will. All right,
She's
now,
getting desperate. She's going to the littles.
well, I've got stuff on here that's interesting. Can you see it?
Uh-huh.
This is from your eye.
Oh, don't. Hey.
Oh,
Shh. She's giving away
this
things.
is why they don't tell me.
This is why we don't tell her.
This is why.
I did send a little teaser pic to Eddie because he sent me one the other day, and then I sent him a blank piece of paper. I told him that's where I was at with things, but then
Is old Patty still there? Here, see, this is the one that I used. You can still see.
that's the geranium one.
Oh, I thought it was hydrangea.
Yeah, hydrangea.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. The geraniums are Chrissy Hartman. We have all the flowers covered.
I think we do.
Fantasy to real.
No, I don't know. We don't. Oh, yeah. No, you know, the ones that I have not used that I. What?
Paula glued herself to the sofa with the art glitter glue. Mm-hmm.
I think probably that's not a conversation that we need to be having right now.
That's for the yurt. The nerd.
Yeah, whatever there.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's try some. Golden bricks.
Oh yes. If you're doing a Wizard of Oz, I mean, you need a yellow brick road. We got it.
Make sure it's patted down. Okay, I'm staying away from that because I think that's too much the same as my little crackly stuff going on there.
Seems kind of personal, Yuta, but I'm gonna ask her. Is your gel plate distorted?
Who?
That one. I think it is a little.
It's
a little wonky.
No, this is a cut. This is one we made.
Yeah.
And it's okay. We are aware of that.
Yeah, there's no such thing as too many flowers. That's what I keep telling Brad. He's like, should we put flowers out again? And I'm like, I think people love the flowers. Like, we need all of them.
It's been a while since we got into this book.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. See, look at my little spoon hanging off my little hoop-de-doo. I've got, the spoon doesn't want to move around the...
Well, you need a bigger ring.
I need a smaller ring.
You need a bigger ring.
Oh, it doesn't move because it only goes to that one spot.
I don't know what you're saying. I don't know about that.
I'm just telling you. You just need to believe me.
Okay. I like to find out my information, not just, you know.
Whatever.
Oh, funny. And never enough circles. I know.
What?
That's why we were like with the Dottie Miss Dottie. I was like, I really like these, and they are different.
This is kind of a wonky wall.
It's a wonky wall. Yeah, it's distorted. I think that was more about how you put it onto the thing than anything. I love that though, with the crackle in there, or the
Isn't that
crazy.
wonderful?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that needs to dry. All right, let's see what else we've got over here that's dry that we can put some more stuff on top of. Oh, this is... Not going to get anything off of that, but it won't be from lack of effort.
That's funny.
What?
Paula has said to Jeanette, the naughty chair has moisture repellent, wipeable fabric. She is the NERT-appointed health and safety officer. That's good. I think with this crowd, that's probably a good thing. You know. The best kind of fun is safe fun.
Yes. Take precautions.
Yes.
Have the water hose handy.
Mm-hmm.
And the, phone to call a friend. If it gets serious.
Phone a friend.
Phone a friend. Okay. Now, are you excited about this? Oh, I don't think it really matters because I think I've got paint on. No, I don't. Look at that.
That's almost a naked stencil.
Yeah.
Almost.
But I'm going to turn it over on the red so you can kind of see what's going to happen here.
Ooh.
So wherever the stencil is, that is not going to get any paint on it.
Alright, so I really loved the way that the red looked in that case. So maybe that's your final pull.
Okay, so what's this one going to be? A medium value range is what I'm thinking.
I think something orange would be pretty interesting. A lighter orange.
Well, what if I use a transparent something like,
Not
that's
that one.
poopy. Transparent red iron oxide.
It's a little more brown than I thought you were going to go, because with the red, that's going to be pretty low contrast. But see if you go more orange, grab the one next to it. That'll be more better.
Indian hue?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I don't know that I'm going to be getting enough
Or I think at this point you really need to think about more opaque. If it's going to contend with the final pull, which I think should also be a more opaque, or at least semi-transparent, not those transparent. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not at all convinced.
Okay. Well, I mean,
You know, I'm processing what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. Orange, quinacridone orange.
Okay, so let's talk about this. We got 9 minutes to work this out. That with a red is not going to give you a lot of contrast there. The cool thing that's happening, so if you flip your thing back over with the redness happening through it, in fact, like right now, my call would be like, do white. Or you need some higher contrast with what's going down now and
What's going to come later.
the final pull.
Well,
I love the idea of the final pull being the red. I think white would be cool right now because you can see right now with the stencil on there, that makes the stuff show up. But it's going to be high enough contrast.
Well, it's going to be, yeah, but it's going to be in the places where you don't see that. That will be red eventually.
Right, I understand that. So, or do green. Well, no, because that'll be Christmassy.
No, but I could do this.
Yes, do that. It's close enough to white. It's different enough from the other stuff. I think it'll be interesting. Yeah, see, I was thinking with the green, but then we're going to get real Christmassy when we do the pull with the red. If she sticks to that. Nightbot has options. Silver could be good is what Nightbot came up with.
Oh. Well, yeah, but, you know, we've already got our metallic layer down there. And I think, you know, that would just be...
Right. Gilding the lily, as she says.
Gilding the lily.
Plus, once you, like, start stacking those metallics, it really just kind of blows them out. And you don't see much anymore. Because it's just shiny.
Yeah.
That's one thing, like, it's cool to mix the metallics with the more matte, opaque paints. Because then it creates a little bit of contrast there, making both really cool.
Absolutely love this color.
Yeah, the fern is... It's funny because it looks really orangey, or sorry, really limey in the camera, but it's not.
It's not. All right, now I've got to get...
It's a little more dull. But with the like yellow lighting and everything, it really bumps up the green.
Well, it's one of those colors that's totally dependent on what is put around it.
It's neutral in that fact that it's a lot like certain grays. Whatever they're next to, they pick up the color, and it's similar to that. Patty says, too much metallic is just that. Too much. Ask me how I know. See you in the next stream, Patty. Now, I want you to be over this watercolor business and move on to, you know, do gel printing and showing some PM Artist Studio stencils.
Oh.
If I can ask, you know.
Shushy wishy.
She likes the watercolors. She busted out her watercolors because you had yours
Yeah,
out.
I did. And I'm going to show those.
Oh, you should. Yeah, we got 5 minutes. That'd be perfect. Because this has to dry. But stay tuned. Well, that was a little of a... some.
Isn't that wonderful? Okay.
Yeah,
whoa.
careful. See, this is how stencils get stuck to things. This is
Yeah,
exactly
'cause
how it happens.
it's still got a lot to give.
It's giving.
Now I'm getting all that off of there. I'm going to turn this over here in a minute and let you look at it.
Ooh,
Then I'm
careful.
gonna show Patty what I did during her. And it's hard for me to type because my machine is up
She
here
has to.
off the ground.
Well, you should get a wireless keyboard.
Well, I actually think I have one somewhere.
Well, there you go.
All right, now you're not going to see much until the next layer is put on. And this is what you kind of have to anticipate.
We'll bring this back on Tuesday.
Bring this back on Tuesday.
Okay, bring your watercolors in because we've got 4 minutes.
Oh, I think I can do it in that amount of time.
Okay. Well, you might get chatty. I don't know. Yes, Patty was showing the very expensive ones.
Yes. Which I don't have.
I know. We're so ready for you to retire. I was telling somebody that the other day about, I'm really ready for you to retire because I think that, good things are coming.
Yeah. All right, now this is the one that I worked on even afterwards, but you can see the shiny.
Hold it up into and then give the wiggles. Look at that.
It's not done yet, but it's a work in progress. Then I did some of the colors that Patty did, the oranges and the blues together.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is playing in the puddle with some of the, and I wished I could remember the names of them. But some of this is the ones that Patty gave us from Masha on the little cards.
Yeah.
Boy, a little goes a long ways. I mean, I've been using this. And then here's another one that is one of those granulating colors.
Hold it up a little more in there. There we go. Mm-hmm.
But you can see what she means by the granulate. And then I finally got to use the brush that Mariah got me for my birthday.
What? What was that?
I can't say.
Oh. Well, she...
I gotta show you that brush because it's a really cool brush and it feels...
It was a little pricey. I didn't give her the super expensive one, but...
See that?
What is it? It's a sword brush, right?
It's a sword brush, but look at the...
Look at that jiggly wiggly.
Look at that jiggly wiggly. Yeah.
It's a proper
And
flopper.
I what?
Proper flopper.
Proper flopper. It is. Look at that jiggle.
Oh my God! Here, Patty goes. What brush? what is this brush you have? Let me put a link in. 1 second.
Okay, I did all of this, everything that's on there, with this one brush. Hey, Patty, you will like it because it loads up like a
Mofo.
Yeah, I mean, it is a loader. And then, the more you flop and and then, you get down, and also you get that knife edge. Nice little, look at that. That, I'm telling you, that was the only brush I used for this.
Oh yeah, here we go.
But
yes, this
Princeton,
is
it's called
artist brush.
It's called a dagger.
Dagger, that's right. I looked up sword and then I couldn't find it, but then I got there. Hold on.
Can you see
it?
it?
No longer available? Well, pooty poo.
Yeah. It's a 1/2 inch dagger. Well, there's all kinds of them.
I'll find you one that's similar. Put a
Yeah.
link in. So you guys know, like, I mean, you don't have to get that particular one, but it'll at least get you started.
Yeah, it has beautiful action.
That's what you really want in a brush.
Lots of
Beautiful.
loads up with color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here, I'll just show you real quick. I've got water. I have my watercolors right back over here.
Here, I would say that this is probably very similar.
And there's April. You need to order your watercolors from April. April's.
A Little Creative Me on Etsy. I can put a link, but 1 second, let me grab this one.
Okay, let's just get some red going here. But I didn't wipe my brush off at all. But see, you can get wonderful brush strokes, skinny lines, and I never, you know, this is why my watercolors always look like crap. Now, Mariah, you know, she won't let me keep the...
But there you go. All right, guys. Well, thank you once again for hanging out with us on a Sunday. We will be back tomorrow because tomorrow is Monday, and that's Monday Makes with Mariah, or Mariah Makes on Monday. I'm doing stuff on Monday. That's what I say. Do. So, yes, we will be back tomorrow, and then, you know, our regular schedule, all that business was put into the chat, or you can always find that information down below. Thank you for hanging out. Do give those thumbsy upsies if you haven't already. We very much appreciate them. Come back, leave comments, do all that YouTube-y business. Share us with a friend. We're getting so close. So close. You know, like only 500 away from 7,000.
It's a small village.
It's a small village. All right, guys, we'll see you back here. Bye.
Bye.